Hello, Coretta. Uh, Please introduce yourself and tell me about your business and what your role in the business is.
Hi, Steve. As you know, my name is Coretta Kingston. I am the president of Gem Blue Logistics, located in Chesapeake, Virginia. We are a Amazon delivery service partner, and we are a year and 8 months old. We'll be going on to our second year with Amazon, and we're very excited every day.
Why did you decide to get into the business?
I've been an entrepreneur all my life, Steve, as far as I can remember. Prior to becoming a delivery service partner with Amazon, I actually owned and operated 3 car and truck rental companies, 2 in Richmond and 1 in Charlottesville, Virginia. And I did that for 7 years, and it was a successful business. But I stepped away and I went to school. But I also came back to the entrepreneurial field, and I launched a technology company, a car share company to be specific, called Pink Cars Car Share. And we did that, my husband and I, we did that for about 2 years before we became DSPs.
What are some of the key challenges facing Amazon delivery service providers today?
I believe some of the key challenges that are facing Amazon delivery service providers today there are several, but in terms of processes, specifically fleet management, I definitely think that's a obstacle that is easy, that can be overcome. It's a challenge because most DSPs across the North American network have a fleet of about 40 to 50 vans and more, depending on their size and scope of their operation. Many of us are not fleet management experts. However, we have to manage that fleet because it's ours. We're fully responsible for its maintenance, its upkeep, its functioning, you name it, we're responsible. So sometimes finding what process or protocol you can use to help with that can be a challenge in and of itself. And particularly when you have fleet that is often damaged because of whatever reason, so that can be a challenge as well.
What caused you to first consider seeking out fleet management software?
When we launched a little over a year and 8 months ago, we were doing everything through paper. I'm all about automation and all about efficiency. So after a year and some months doing this work, we realized that what we were doing, Steve, was not working. By that, I mean, it was very cumbersome. We had to manage paper, and I don't like managing paper. So I started to look at other ways to automate, really, our process in terms of fleet management and care. We were looking to transition into something that would allow us to not only manage the fleet, but care for the fleet. For example, alert us of when something was going on with the vehicle sooner than later. So I started to do my research, and there were some other choices on the market. But I particularly like Driveroo because it was easy to navigate.
How did you first hear about us? How did you come to find Driveroo?
Well, like I said, I did my research and I sought out, there was another platform, but I sought out, as well as you, I sought out the 2 platforms. And what I liked about Driveroo was that at the end of the day, it was just easy to navigate. It was just easier to use. I find that the platform is super intuitive, and since we've launched it, everybody else has really enjoyed using it. All our key stakeholders, that is.
Ultimately, what made you choose Driveroo?
I found it to be easier to use. It was far more intuitive. I love the fact that we can customize as we grow our company. We can customize our needs, and that particularly was my hook.
What specific capabilities about Driveroo really interested you?
The specific capabilities about Driveroo that interested me was that, honestly, it helped us to do away with the paper. You're correct. We have a platform called Mentor that, in and of itself, Mentor does what it does. And that is, it has the telematics on the vehicle, it tracks the vehicles, it tracks whether the drivers are speeding, whether they're braking, and so forth and so on. But what I really liked about Driveroo is we wanted something in-house, something our own. Even though the platform is not proprietary ours, we wanted something that we could log into and control and better manage. And we didn't have that with Mentor. So I think that in addition to the fact that it's not a paper system, it's technology, it's digital, that was also another thing that attracted me about that, about Driveroo specifically. We had more control, and I like to control things.
All right. That's great. Coretta, could you describe the implementation process you went through with Driveroo?
Yes, Steve. The implementation process for us was very specific and deliberate. When we first met, you, myself, my dispatcher, and Leo, we talked about 3 stages that we wanted to execute before we launched. That was the soft launch and the official launch. Because we have a team of 80 plus people and everybody is not on the same level technologically, we wanted to slowly but surely roll this out to them. So as you know, you and Leo were instrumental with hand-holding our hands as far as introducing us to the capabilities and the functionalities of the platform. After that, after the initial introduction, as I stated, we did our soft launch where we only rolled out the platform to a select few drivers just to gauge their usability and adaptability. Once we found success in that, we then did our official launch, and that's when we rolled it out to the entire 80 plus team of GenBlue Logistics.
What feedback have you received from the users of Driveroo?
Absolutely. So the feedback that we've received from Driveroo, we have several stakeholders that are truly instrumental in why we had to go from paper to digital. And that is our fleet assistant, our senior dispatcher, along with his 3 dispatchers, and our driver manager, and of course, my husband and I, who are owners of the company. So the first feedback came from our fleet assistant. Because his hands are in fleet every day, all day, he said that he's found that the Driveroo platform has been very effective in terms of tracking the maintenance needs of the vans, and it also helps to alert him with vehicle issues that arise. Now, Mentor has that functionality, but one thing about Driveroo is that these issues that arise stay, if they're not addressed, they stay open, I guess, or versus closed. And he really likes that notification that he knows, okay, there's something that I need to get closed or taken care of. So he particularly likes that notification on the platform.
Great.
And I'm sorry, I had another one for a dispatcher. They particularly love it because it allows them to know whether or not a driver is actually taking the time to do their Driveroo inspection, which is what we call vehicle inspection sheet and process, excuse me. And what we've learned in the past with the paper is that a lot of them weren't doing it. And if they weren't doing it correctly. And Driveroo cuts out that miss, and it holds them accountable and responsible.
What results have you seen so far?
Well, in general, the results that we've seen, again, we're not using as much paper. So in terms of resources, we're not having to print a lot of sheets. We're not having to hurt the environment, if one can say it that way.
Have there been specific maintenance issues that you've identified where the other process through using Amazon you wouldn't have seen as quickly?
Specifically, what comes to mind as far as what issues would arise earlier than later would be really, Steve, damages. For example, in fact, this morning, we discovered that there was a tail light out on one of the vehicles. Prior to Driveroo, we probably wouldn't have gotten an alert on that any sooner than what we would have today. And that's because, again, that's that accountability where the drivers are responsible for completing their inspection their pre-trip every morning. So we probably wouldn't have seen that sooner if we were just exclusively using Mentor.
Would you recommend Driveroo to other Amazon DSPs?
Would I recommend Driveroo to other Amazon DSPs? And the answer is other Amazon DSPs have already asked us who and what are we using. So the answer is yes. We are talking Driveroo up at the station. Yes.
We just want to be sure we're doing everything that we can to keep you up to speed, and any improvements or additions or things that you can think of that we can do to improve the process. Would really appreciate that feedback. And you know how to reach us. Hopefully we've been
Absolutely.
responsive when there have been requests. I think Gary has indicated that we've jumped on it pretty quickly.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's
Yes.
been great.
Thank you. You guys have been great.
All right, Coretta. Thank you so much. Have a great
All
rest of
right.
your day. Take
All
care.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye.